Hey everyone, it's Kathy and I'm back with another process video for the JustNick cut file shop. I'm doing part 11 of the 12 days of freebies, and so my freebie was the pine needle bow, and I decided to make a wreath with it. And my first decision was to cut it out of just a random piece of green cardstock, and not because I wanted it to be green, but because that was a green that I was probably never going to use. So it would be great for experimenting with. So I decided to experiment with black Heidi Swap Color Shine. I don't have a lot of luck with the black Heidi Swap Color Shine. Mostly when I tried to do like drops, it never dries, but thankfully spraying it, it did dry. So I was able to get this really cool sheen with it. Um, it's not quite black, it's almost kind of like a dark gunmetal effect. And it's very shiny and sparkly, and I really like how it turned out. So yeah, I decided to go with it, and I do use another cut file from her shop that I just happen to have in my on my computer in my files. I believe it's called Floral Wreaths 2. It came with two different floral wreaths, and I've used one before in a previous layout for JustNick, and then this one I decided to use the bigger one. It's all like shiny and silvery and black. It's really cool. I really like how it turned out. I'm not much of a person that does that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I think it's just because I'm like, oh my gosh, effort. You know, I just want to get stuff on the page and get it done. So right now I'm debating whether or not I wanted to do a completely white background or this heart one. And it's me. So of course I decide I'm going to use a pattern background because I don't I don't always use a pattern background, but I do tend to gravitate towards pattern paper a lot, and I don't always want to do like a solid white um, background. I know that I'm not trying to appeal to everybody, but I know there's a lot of scrappers out there that work almost exclusively with white cardstock backgrounds. So I kind of feel like there's enough of them out there for people to kind of like scratch that itch. And I used to do a lot of them too because that was the style. That was the style at the time. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at a Simpsons quote because of that. But anyway, I like using white too, but I also, when I first started scrapbooking, used pattern paper backgrounds a lot. And then I got away from it because nobody was, and then I had read a few discussions where people were kind of missing people using pattern paper as backgrounds, and wanting some people to kind of go back to that. And I was like, well, I used to really love doing that. So I'm trying to do it a lot more, and I really, really love doing it. Like my last video that went up had a white background, but there was lots of pattern paper involved. And but the one before it was primarily pattern paper, and the one before it was primarily pattern paper. I don't know. I loved doing it, so I'm kind of back to doing it. So I'm making a makeshift shaker pocket that you could make if you don't have a sewing machine and don't want to make a separate shaker pocket that would then glue down. But you could do it, most people would probably do it this way anyway, but then just stitch it and then put your stuff inside. So this is kind of my way of doing it with glue. So I just glue the whole thing down around around my stars from the Cute Girl collection. So I would normally not have really used those for this layout just because then it brought in blue, and I really wasn't going to bring in blue, but my daughter kind of dumped out all my sequins on the floor, and I am in no hurry to try to find them all because I have a carpet in my craft room, and so it's like a shag rug, and they're all in there, and I don't know where they are. And I don't have that many sequins to begin with. It's something I haven't really ordered online. I always place orders and then go, oh, I should have ordered like some sequins. And then I go, no, why would I do that? I don't have a fuse tool or like a sewing machine, so why would I bother? Because then I've got to hand stitch, and ain't nobody got time for that except for the people who do and make really awesome layouts with it. Super jealous. But yeah. So this is just me using some scraps of paper left over from some other layouts, just 6x6 papers, and I'm not cutting off the tops like where the holes would be. So it's kind of getting this little bit of interest where there's another piece of pattern paper on top of the pattern paper. It's from Merry and Bright, which was an American Crafts line that was just, I think, papers, because I think they put out a couple papers each year for stuff like that. This paper's so old that I don't even remember what it's from. I just know it's from a paper pad from the first Christmas that I was ever scrapbooking. I bought this paper, and I still have a whole bunch of it because I kind of bought it because it was the only stuff around. I didn't really like all of it, but this one has, the red is like a flocked red, so it's kind of got that velvety texture, which I thought was interesting because I'm going to bring in some pom-poms to add a little bit more texture. I do attempt to add in texture with this silly tinsel ribbon that I have, which is really cool, but just doesn't work for what I'm doing, like mainly because there already is a bow. I think it was kind of unnecessary. I tried doing like the technique where you wrap it around, but it's so thick that I would have to pop up the picture quite a bit, and I really don't want to do that. So I'm just going to get rid of it, and that's why I'm going to bring in the pom-poms later, is just to add that kind of fabric texture to stuff. So just to add a little bit more to the wreath and to the bow. I had to think about what it was called there for a second because I keep wanting to say bow, but I mean bow. So I'm going through my ephemera. This is some of my Christmas ephemera, but not all of it. This has a mixture of different lines in it because I just tend to put several lines together as long as they're about the same thing. So in this case, Christmas. So there's some older October afternoon. There's I think some Chamel stuff is in there. Heidi Swap, that's actually from a kit that I bought because I was going to do December daily, but the kit bothered me because it had 6 hole ring punches, or 6 rings, and nothing else I bought had 6 rings. Like all the little like 6x8 page protectors had 2 because they were all Project Life ones. So anyway, so I'm not using the album. I'm going to use some of the stuff from the album and not really worry about the album right now because I didn't really feel like punching out all that stuff. So I'm not going to do a December daily. I'm just going to do a December mini album, and I'm not worried about getting it done in December. I'm just going to kind of work on it on and off because December's quite busy, especially when I just started back at work like a month ago. So not too worried about it. I'm fiddling around so much with that ephemera, and it's like 4 pieces, and I'm just like struggling, like, wow, it's kind of insane how bad that is. And some of it's that I'm using a lot of circular pieces. Some of it's that I don't want to trap the white space. I want to still be able to read that it says believe, or that the top one says sparkle and shine. I know I do end up having to go and add even more in later because I don't have to go and add in more, but I decide to, and that makes me have to prop stuff up. I go and get a tree from the Snow and Cocoa chipboard, and it's pink, and I love that it then adds in the pink. And well, first I try that hat, which is super cute. I love that hat. And I find this piece of these little poinsettias, and I love the way that looks because it's kind of bringing in flowers, like, for a wreath. So I am going to use that. And I think I'm still searching for more stuff at this point. Yep. That's when I realized, oh, I want this pink tree. It's super cute. So yeah, so I love the idea of the presents around the tree, but then I've got to go pop stuff up, and I don't have my thicker pop dots right now. So I think I have to like double up my thin foam, like my fun foam, and that ends up being not fun for the fact that I just called it fun foam. um, I do still end up using that Believe. That little tag, that little tiny green tag says Holly and Jolly. And I do want to use it because it's going to bring in a little bit more of the green, which is very similar to the hearts. The hearts, I'm not sure if I mentioned in this recording or what recording, but because this is not my first recording of this, the heart paper is an older Dear Lizzie like birthday party kind of line. Um, I'm here trying to remember the name of it, but I think it was called Fine and Dandy. I am now almost 100% certain that was the name of it. And the polka dot is the backside of a paper from the Maggie Holmes Gather collection. The front side, the main side, was this like beautiful floral that I absolutely adore. But I just have a thing for polka dots right now, especially in scrapbooking. So those snowflakes, the red and the white and the black one, they're from the Snow and Cocoa as well. I liked adding in that extra like hint of color. I'm cutting off some of these pom-poms from this string of pom-poms to glue down onto my bow to just kind of make them look like little berries. I thought it was really cute. Um, and I really like how that turned out. Just adds a little bit more texture. And then I'm going to work on the title. And in the end, the title that I leave and wave goodbye with is not the title I end up with, and it's not the thickers that I end up with. I do change them. So you won't actually see me change them because I change them like the next day. Mostly because I'll admit, I really can't. I don't like the font that I chose. I was just trying to use it up for the most part. Like, I don't know if anybody else ever does that, but they're just like, I just get it in my head that I've got to use this product. I've got to get rid of it. I've got to get it in my stash. I have 2 packages of this, and not because I necessarily wanted 2 packages, just because there was an error with something. Something was kind of messed up, and I got another package because of it. So now I have 2 packages. So I'm really trying to use them up, and I really don't like them all that much. But they were gold, and so I wanted to bring in the gold, but I do end up switching even what the title says, because I write She Glows, which is really cute, and I just love the look that she's giving into the camera. But I switch it to Santa Baby because that was the first thought that came to my mind. But I was like, oh, it's not going to fit with these alphas, so I changed the title to make it fit, and then I realized I don't want to change the title to make it fit, and I'm trying to tuck it in, and it's not really working out quite so well. I do end up putting it on top of the shaker pocket, and that's where I put the new title, is on top of that shaker pocket. But I like how it looks. I'm going to use like a red foil, and then the alpha from the Dear Lizzie Saturday collection. It's the one that's black on the bottom and then polka dots, kind of giving almost like an ombre effect. And I really like how those 2 together work, and they pull in the red and they pull in the polka dots and the black. So I do really like how that turns out. But I am going to add a little bit of Heidi Swapp Color Shine right at the end. Probably shaking it up right now as I speak. Yep. I didn't want to add in more black and have it really stand out. So I liked the idea of adding in the gold, just as a hint. So thanks guys so much, and I'll see you in the next layout. Bye.